Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Avanti Hendrasti. I am English language education student from 6A. In this video, I'm going to present my proposal by entitled The Implementation of Virtual Media in Teaching Vocabulary at 8th grade students of SMP 1 Uriantoro 2000 and in the academic year 2019-2020. Since English as international language, English became an important subject in Indonesian education. There are 4 skills that most students learn in English: reading, listening, writing, and speaking. The 4 skills are supported by language of elements: the structure, vocabulary, and spelling. The important aspect to be learned in language learning is vocabulary. Robertson says that vocabulary is the words that compose a language. Teaching vocabulary is not easy. Considering the importance of vocabulary in learning English, teachers should be able to make the lesson more fun and attractive. Teacher is demanded to be more creative, not really relying on handbook in teaching the vocabulary. There are so many methods which we use to improve students' vocabularies. One of them is word. According to Zakevich 1997, he stated that using three-dimensional pictures models to represent words gives students a lasting correlation between pictures and the word they illustrate. So, word wall is suitable for junior high school because the strategy is like a game. It cannot make the students bored because, like playing word game, they can feel easy in remembering the vocabulary and, of course, to minimize the teacher's difficulties in teaching vocabulary. So the researcher interested in conducting a research of the title The Implementation of Word Wall Media in Teaching Vocabulary at 8th grade students of SMPN 1 Uriantoro in academic year 2019-2000. The researcher make the problem identification. There are students are lack of vocabulary. Students get difficulties to remember a lot of vocabularies. Students are still have less motivation in reading to add their vocabularies. And the last, teacher does not use an effective technique or media to teach vocabulary. So, the study will limit to analyze the implementation of word wall media in teaching vocabulary for the 8th grade students of SMPN 1 Uriantoro in the academic year 2019-2020. Based on the researcher background, the problem statements of the research will be follow. How is the implementation of word wall as media in teaching vocabulary at 8th grade students of SMPN 1 Uriantoro in the academic year 2019-2020? And what are problems faced on implementation of word wall in teaching vocabulary at the 8th grade students of SMPN 1 Uriantoro in academic year 2019-2020? So, the objective of study are to describe about the implementation of word wall strategy. So the objective of study are to describe about the implementation of word wall media in teaching vocabulary at The objective of study are to So, the objective of study are to describe about the implementation of word media in teaching vocabulary at 8th grade students of SMPN 1 Riantoro in the academic year 2019-2020 and analyze problems faced on the implementation of word in teaching vocabulary process at 8th grade students of SMPN 1 Riantoro in academic year 2019-2020. The researcher hoped the result of this study will be expected to be useful as a material for further research, and for the teachers, they will know and use the effective media or strategy to teach vocabulary for their students. They also will know how the implementation of word wall as the appropriate media to teach vocabulary and the problems of word wall in teaching learning process. According to Hornby 1995, teaching is defined as giving instruction to somebody's knowledge, skill, etc. Teaching vocabulary is an activity where the teacher gives the students knowledge about vocabulary and how to use it in daily life. According to Edge 1993, states that the more vocabulary students learn, the more ideas they should have, so they can communicate by using their ideas more effectively. With more vocabulary, the learners can understand and use English without any difficulties. Therefore, teacher has an important role to introduce vocabulary for students in order for them to be able to communicate using the target language effectively. According to Hornby, vocabulary means total number. According to Hornby, vocabulary means total number of words which make up a language. And according to M. Sunadi Jiwandono, vocabulary is defined as the vocabulary in a variety of forms that include the word with or without affixes and each its own meaning. So we can conclude that vocabulary is all the words or stock of words. Vocabulary is divided into two: oral and print vocabulary. Oral vocabulary is the set of words for which we know the meanings when we speak or read orally. Print vocabulary consists of these words for which the meaning is known when we write or read silently. So the point of the statement is that vocabulary is needed both for spoken and writing activities. Next is word wall. The definition of word wall. According to Gursky, word wall is a systematically organized collection of words displayed in large letters on a wall or other large display in the classroom. So word wall is a set of words that have relation from one word to another that arranged in the form and So word wall is a set of words that have relation from one word to another that arranged in the form on the wall. One of the models of learning through word like a game or learning while playing. And in teaching vocabulary, according to Sola 2011, He suggests three types of media in teaching vocabulary. They are as follows: visual media, audio media. According to Sola 2011, he suggests three types of media in teaching vocabulary. There are visual media, audio media, and audiovisual media. Au- uh, sorry, visual media. Visual media. Visual media is a media that can be seen. The visual media such as pictures, photographs, flashcards, posters, charts, comic strips, and pictures books can be useful in different ways to serve vocabulary mastery. And the second one is audio media. They are media that has sound to be listened. Audio media such as tape recorder, music, and sounds uses sound and voice to audio media such as tape recorder, music, and songs uses sound and voice to transfer message. And the last, audiovisual media. It provides audio and visual in one media. Audiovisual such as video, television, computer, and OH projector. The researcher will present the previous study dealing with the topic. The first title is The Influence of Using Word Wall Towards Students' Vocabulary Mastery at MTS Al Furqan Lumai by Siska Nuzulina, June 2011. The previous was analyzed with quantitative research design, which it was focused on the student's vocabulary mastery. The similarity is from the variable of this research that is using word wall as tools to teach vocabulary. For the research method, the researcher will use the descriptive qualitative research. This research will be qualitative since the data are in the form of words. This is caused the researcher will intend to describe word wall media that are used by English teacher in teaching vocabulary at 8th grade students of SMP 1 Riantoro in the academic year 2019-2020. For the research setting, this research will conduct in SMP N1 Riantoro in the academic year of 2019-2020. It's located in the Jalan Raya Uriantoro, nomor 1 Siraman Mampu Harjo Uriantoro, Kabupaten Wonogiri, Jawa Tengah, 57661. The researcher will conduct this research on September 2019. The source of the data in this research will include event, informant, and document. The researcher will be used three kinds of instruments to collect the data. They are observation, interview, and documentation. The researcher will observation directly about the process of teaching vocabulary by using word wall as the media in the classroom. And the researcher will collect the data by interviewing the English teacher who teach vocabulary by using word wall media. And the researcher will take video and photo to know the real condition in the class during implementation of word wall as media to teach vocabulary. To analyze the qualitative data, the researcher will use interactive analysis model. So the researcher will select the 8th grade students of SMP 1. So the researcher will select the 8th grade students of SMP N1 Riantoro. The researcher will make a list of guide that would interview by researcher. Then during describing the data, the researcher will reduce inappropriate data which are not relevant to the study. Then the researcher categorized the data into several teams. Afterwards, the researcher will interpret to answer problem statements. and the researcher will make a conclusion about the data which has passed the research process. In this research, the checking of the research finding will use triangulation. Triangulation is qualitative. Triangulation is qualitative cross-validation. So, this research So the research will use two types of triangulation. These are triangulation of the source of data. The data taken from an informant was compared to the data from the other informants. And triangulation, and the second one, triangulation of technique. It is the technique of examining the trust. It is It is the technique of examining the trustworthiness of the data, which uses the things outside the data in order to examine the data and to compare the data between observation and interview. I think enough my presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.